Hey, you got Justin here, and today we're going to shoot another video on Facebook ad breaks because this thing is growing like crazy, and I want to share what my results are so that maybe you can get started with your own ad breaks business and make some additional money. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm making $565 per week using ad breaks, and as you can see right here, and these are, this is really from my back office. I mean, I'm shooting this today, which is June 18th, and this is for 1 week of time, 565, no lie. All right, so how am I doing this? What am I doing? Let's go to the board of truth and let's talk about this for a second. So, I pretty much do it in 3 simple steps. The steps are you got to become eligible. 1, that's Facebook's rules, not mine. And then 2, you do the 50-50 rule, which is a rule that I've come up with because it's been working really well for me when I first started my fan page and had no idea what I was doing. And then and I'll explain that a little bit. And then phase number 3 or step number 3 is to increase the RPM. So let's go over some stuff right now. So this is kind of the pre-step right here. If you don't have this stuff in place, then you can't even get started. So 1, you want to pick a niche, you want to create a page, and you want to create your video. You want to have some kind of video creation process. All right, and each one of these, we could do a whole ensemble of videos on this, but I'm going to keep it short, condensed, and focused so that you know exactly what steps you need to take next. Before I get into it, make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get updated for more videos just like this. Let's get into it. Alright, so first of all, we want to consider picking a niche. And what I always say when it comes to picking a niche, and when I say what I always say, I mean, I just started saying this, but what I'm saying and what's been working for me is, really just creating a niche based on, things that are popular, people are already involved with, and it's not like you have to create it from scratch. And the big 5 that I consider, ones that you really would want to get started with are 1, entertainment, 2, food, 3, sports, 4, fitness, and 5, travel. I mean, think about it. Who doesn't do any of these things? I mean, obviously, we're going through the epidemic right now. I mean, if you're watching this, it's June 18th. Well, so obviously, this is still something that's happening. However, when things get back to normal, people will do a lot more traveling, I promise you. So it's worth it to create the page, even if it doesn't make sense, because if we're using travel as an example, you can always create things to do while you're doing road trips and, great ideas for that. So there's a ton of different things. So yeah, you just think, what are you most passionate about? I would consider you to, think about doing something that you're passionate about because it's easy to do for a long term. If you're not passionate about it, well, at least make sure that you're disciplined enough to continue to do it for the long term because, it really does depend on you and your content, which is going to determine how fast you're going to grow your page. So if you're going to do something, think about it, not just doing it today, but think, do you want to do this for the next 2-3 years? Because the way I see ad breaks right now, this is definitely something that's not going away. Facebook is spending a ton of money to compete with YouTube on this new platform and getting video creators an opportunity to monetize. So you really want to think in the long term when you're doing this stuff. That being said, I'll give you 2 examples of my big 5 right now. 1, if you're a sports fan, look at this right here. When I was a kid, I was a huge Chicago Bull fan. This is not my page, so but I'm just showing you a page that would be a great example. Obviously you wouldn't be the Chicago Bulls because that's taken, but you can do the diehard Chicago Bulls fan, and you can create compilations of some of the greatest moments in history. And if you're like I said, if you're passionate about it, you'll be able to create content, right? And you could see Michael Jordan's flu shot. I mean, everyone knows that. I mean, he sells those flu sneakers. He sells millions of those, millions of dollars worth every single year when he launches a new one because of this one game. So it's a great thing to have fans. And as you can see right here, 788,000 views in 4 weeks. So that got a lot of traction. And you can see just a lot of different other things. Rare Michael Jordan plays. So you can do a whole compilation of that. If you're not a basketball fan, then you can do something in football. If you're not a football fan, you can do something in soccer, which is actually bigger than all the sports in the world. So you might want to consider that. So there's a ton of different ways you can go, and there's a ton of different formats you can go with. But I would highly suggest you consider doing sports because that's a big industry. Excuse me. Alright, next would be food. Food is also huge. One of the biggest places that fan pages that I see on Facebook right now that does food is Tasty. Now, before you're thinking, wow, I have to have all these crazy if you're familiar with Tasty, then you'll know what I'm saying. You don't have to have all these crazy compilations like Tasty does in order to win with a potential page, but it's a good place to model because look at all these pictures. They're so engaging. I mean, Jesus. I mean, look how long they've been around for. I mean, 4 years, and they have this one video that has 153 million views. Holy cow. And it was a one pot chicken fajita pasta recipe, and they just did like their Tasty thing. If you don't know Tasty, definitely go to the page. One thing that I will say though, which I'll get into in a second when we talk about the three things, they don't have 3 minutes, so they're not monetizing on this, which is a huge loss because they could have made a ton of money. But 4 years ago, ad breaks wasn't even available, so maybe they didn't lose out too much. But I'm sure if you look at their more recent videos, they probably do have 3 minute long videos, and they don't. Wow, that's a bummer. Well, anyway. They're monetizing a whole bunch of other ways. I'm sure they have their own company because they are a big brand. But what I would do if I were you is at least make 3 minute videos of compilations to recipes of things of that nature, or top your favorite dishes if you're a creator, an actual cook. And if you're not a cook, you can definitely get recipes written down. You can get screenshots of dishes, and you could put it in a succinct order to giving somebody the exact pieces of the puzzle that they need to know in order to create a wonderful dish. Make sure it's over 3 minutes though, otherwise you're not going to make money. All right, so that's what you do. You got your page, you know what you want to do, and now the next thing you want to do is actually create the page. So it's really simple. You go on Facebook, and they've made it stupid simple. This was a lot harder to find before. You simply go to create, you press the create button, and then you press the page. You go to the page, and it's going to give you an option to go between one of these two pages. I would just go with the business page, create the name, think of the name. Don't spend so much time on the name because, to be honest with you, you can change the name a million times after this point. So there's no point of spending an hour or so just trying to create a name. So definitely just create your name, go through the prompts, and then voila, you have your page up and you're ready to go. Next thing and last thing you want to do is you want to think about how you're creating the videos. The videos are really going to be contingent upon your skill. If you are a prime content creator, I mean you're already on YouTube, you know how to create content, you might want to do it yourself. You're going to definitely mitigate the cost of creating it. But again, I would always have the video process outsourced, especially if you want to scale. But if you're trying to lower your costs in the moment, then you can definitely do that yourself. And that's pretty much it. So you want to think about that process, and best places to go, Fiverr, that's one of them. You can literally go on Fiverr.com right now, do video creator, work with that person. If they're out of the country, if you're not in the United States, then anything out of the United States is out of the country. So if they're out of the country, you can probably negotiate a pretty good deal with them. So you want to consider that, negotiating a deal. All right, and then trying to get the best price for yourself possible. Or you can go to Upwork. Upwork is also a great place to do that, and there's a number of other ways that you can do that too, but I won't get into it because that's a whole nother topic. All right, so now you know you're creating videos. The first thing, step number one, you want to become eligible, right? Becoming eligible is really simple as far as what you have to do. It's 100,000 followers, and you need 30,000 1-minute views. And the video has to be a minimum of 3 minutes long. That's why I was pointing at Tasty before and saying it's a bummer that they don't have any of those videos. The videos that had 100+ million views, bummer they didn't have 3 minute. I'm sure they do have on other videos if you actually go through and check it out. So you need to hit this. Now, the best part about this, which I love so much more than YouTube, which YouTube made I would say a catastrophic decision in not allowing you to grow your page. Actually, I wouldn't say they don't allow you to grow the page, but there's no reward. You don't really seem to be rewarded for growing your page through paid advertisement versus organic with YouTube. Facebook doesn't give a you know what because they're making money on hand and fist hand in fist in both ways. If you were an advertiser, which they've been making, they're billions of dollars from without the video content creation process right now, they were already killing it. And now you can become a content creator. So they don't mind if you spend money as an advertiser to grow your page. They're going to reward you on both. You're going to pay them, and then they're going to reward you by allowing you to quickly get out of this process so you can be eligible. So definitely spend money. I would say between $5 to $10 a day on each one if you can. Each activity. For instance, when you're doing the 10K followers, spend $5 to $10 a day to grow it to that level. When you get to the 30K 1-minute views, spend $5 to $10 a day or more if you can. The faster you do it, the faster you're in the money and you're eligible. So that's phase 1. Now phase 2 is what I like to call the rule of 50-50. First of all, you don't know what you're doing with your content. I mean, you have an idea, right? You know what you want to do, but you don't know what's going to engage your fans, which is going to get them interested, which is going to get them to watch, right? So you're just going to have to create content and put your head down. Like if you're not making money your first 3, 4, 5 videos, don't quit, right? Just keep going. And I promise you that when I first started creating my videos, I absolutely sucked. Like I literally didn't know what I was doing, and I was making like a few cents per video, and I was getting pretty frustrated. So if you get into that place, know that that is the right place, but you're just haven't created enough content to figure out what your audience wants. All right, and this is a perfect example of the 50-50. Basically, the first 50 that I created, as you can see right here, horrible, right? I didn't even get this monetized. This wasn't monetized. I had a problem. I was getting like limited monetization. This is what this means. And then this one got approved, and this one got approved. But I mean, I didn't really get any real traction on this. But I started to get smarter because I paid attention to what was working out of the 50, and some identified themselves as videos that I would want to double down on so that I can get better results. And as you can see, when I did my new 50, right, because the new 50 is creating a new 50 videos that do work. And look, like every video that it's like a 3-pointer. Like I'm good. I'm Curry at the freaking 3-point line now. I know what I'm doing. See the difference? I mean, this is 28% right here, and this one right here is 227% of a bump, right? And then this right here, these are new. And they didn't get as much traction, but they all got approved. And then this one got 200, and then this one got 153. So and they're all getting traction, and I'm tweaking these things right here as well, so that they can reach this number. So you don't just quit if it doesn't work right away. Make sure that you're tweaking, you're improving, you're getting better with your videos, so that you get more traction, and then you can start making money with this thing. All right. So where you got there? So that's the deal. And then the last thing is you want to increase your RPM, okay? And that's pretty much like if it was equivalent to Google, it's your cost per 1,000, right? Facebook's going to pay you for every 1,000 views that you get. They're going to assign a number to you. It's kind of like your credit score, right? You got good credit, they're going to pay you more. They're going to give you more for your credit. You got bad credit, they're going to pay you less. And how they determine your RPM is your viewership. It depends on what country your views are coming from. They have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. If you have tier 3, that's like bad credit with Facebook, right? Because they know that their advertisers aren't going to want to pay money for the country that can't really afford the product that the advertisers advertising for. So you really, when you're creating your videos, you have to think like a marketer, right? But act like a content creator. What if you're a marketer and you have a $100 product, right? And you're selling that $100 product through advertisement? What would you want to market? Would you want to market to a country where the dollar exchange rate is 1 to 100, meaning for every $1, it's 100 of their dollars? So that means that same $100 product is 10 times. So that's what is it, $10,000? Let me just make sure that's good, because my math is usually a little off when I just do it off the fly. Yeah, it's $10,000, right? So that's 10,000 of their dollars. They're not going to do it. So advertisers aren't going to want to spend money. Therefore, Facebook is going to assign you a low RPM number, right? And that's why you might not make as much money. But the more that you get your your videos to be seen by people who have a higher tier in their countries, and tier 1 would be United States, right? Canada, UK, New England, not New England, New Zealand, and Australia, right? Those are the big 5. They're going to pay you the most for that. And as you can see right here, when I first started, my RPM was actually not terrible, because I know some people whose RPM is like 10 cents. They're getting 10 cents. So with an RPM, how do you figure it? You multiply this times this, and that gets you how much your earnings are. And if you have 10 cents, well then, you're making, 9 cents? Not even 9 cents, 0.009 cents. That's nothing. That's pennies. It's less than pennies. Like you can't even buy a vowel with that, right? Like it's so obviously you want to work on getting your RPMs higher, and how you do that is you make sure that when you're advertising, when you're marketing, when you're boosting your posts, that you are boosting to the big 5 countries that I just said, and they're going to boost your income up, all right? So that's it. That's what I did in order to really get my money up to this amount, and this may not be like a terrible amount of money, but I mean, for most people, for the average person, this is going to help, right? Especially where we're going on right now, in a place where sometimes there's a lot of uncertainty. If you can certainly have at least, let's say if we multiply this out by 2, at least $2,000 plus a month coming in on autopilot, in addition to whatever else you're doing, that's substantial. So I hope this video was good. I hope you got value from it. And if you did, make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more videos just like this. And also, I'm going to have a link to the bottom of the page for you to opt in, where I'm going to go over the top 5 niches that I would specifically go into right now. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to dissect them, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about them so you can get some value from it. So definitely opt in. Definitely look out for that content. Well, that's it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Peace.